Namaste, you're on The Nation at 5. I'm Anand Narasimhan coming to you live from the newsroom here at CNN News 18. Ladies and gentlemen, we turn the spotlight towards Assam, where the Madrasas of terror, the crackdown continues. One district itself, that is of Golpara itself, there is another arrest that has been made. Arrest of those who were masquerading as teachers and imams, but their agenda was to spread radicalism and terrorism with their affiliations to outfits like the Ansarullah Bangla and of course the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. This entire nexus is a big crackdown which is currently happening. Hafizur Rahman, he's the latest to be arrested. A Madrasa teacher has now been arrested in Golpara after two Imams were arrested. This Golpara region is the fourth big arrest in Golpara and Assam itself. That's the picture that you have on your screens right now of Hafizur Rahman, who's a teacher who's been taken into custody. This is the fourth big arrest in this entire terror nexus case. The other three being high-profile Imams who were involved in terror propaganda. This also extends into Morigaon all the way. They all made their ingress into India from Dhubri, and then they have been ensconced here in this Golpara region, and they have been setting up their own madrasas and also mosques, and they have been trying to push very, very vitriolic thought process and literature along with a very, very radical agenda. With Golpara emerging as a key center for these jihadi modules, the DJP of Assam also has reached the district on Thursday to monitor the developments. Preeti joining us now live. Preeti, who is this person and how did the authorities and the forces get to Hafizur Rahman? Is he an Indian national or is he also somebody who's illegally entered India from Bangladesh?
Yes, Anand, as of now, what we have been informed by the Superintendent of Police is just that Hafizur Rahman is the fourth arrest of this Golpara module of Jihadi that has been arrested, and that he was a Madrasa teacher. As we have seen that there has been a great connection of these people with the masjids and the madrasas, and now Hafizur Rahman is found to be a Madrasa teacher who was teaching in Bongaigaon. However, yesterday also another person, Abdul Chaubahan, as earlier was arrested, that jihadis, the accused jihadis name was also Abdul Chaubahan. Another person yesterday was arrested from Bongaigaon itself, and he was also Abdul Chauhan. And this is the fourth arrest today, as far as said by the Superintendent of Police of Gwalpara. He has said that he was a Madrasa teacher, and while we tried to ask them about how they reached to him and how is this person Hafizur related to this entire module, he just stated that as far the investigation is going on, as of now, what he can say to me is about he being a Madrasa teacher, and definitely he said the police has found some objectionable materials from his possession. That is why he has been arrested.
Now, Preeti, how long has he been there as a Madrasa teacher? Was he indoctrinating youngsters? What is his connection with the outfits like Ansarullah Bangla and also the other three Imams who've now been arrested from this very region? Golpara now emerging as the hub of radical and terror groups operating, especially those coming from Bangladesh.
Yes, this person, Hafizur, was working as a Madrasa teacher there since a long time now, and he has been indoctrinating this dark jihad into a lot of youth of the region, especially in Bongaigaon. It as informed by the police, as in the earlier cases also, while we went to the place where this meeting was held, the Dharm Sabha was held, where Abdul Chaubahan and other people related to the Barpeta module, and also, as we remember, Mustafa was related, and those people were also related to the madrasas and the masjid basically. And while we talked to the local people, they also stated that these people do not remain at one place for a long time, and they try to indoctrinate the youth and then take them along wherever they shift. As we saw in the case of Abdul Chaubahan, who was working in a madrasa in Golpara, we saw that he was indoctrinating the youth there, and he took along the youth when he ran away, when he shifted his place from that place to another place in Golpara, and which was the masjid in the same district.
Right. Thank you for your inputs, Preeti. The DGP, Assam DGP, has also reached Goalpara. He's given out a reaction. We'll play that out, what he's talked about specific, some of these madrasas coming under the radar. But Captain Alok Bansal, Director India Foundation, is joining us. Alokji, namaste. This is now becoming endemic. Wherever we are seeing these people who enter in here, pose as teachers, madrasas, masjids mushrooming, unchecked, a lot of them illegal, and some of them acting as hubs and havens for terrorists to come into the country.
See, there is no
Along
doubt
with the
that
radicalization and indoctrination which is happening, Alokji. Yeah, please.
see, this is what I've been saying earlier also, Anand, is that there is a huge amount of radicalization which is going on. And as a result, and the ideal medium for this radicalization is these madaris or so-called Islamic schools where this is being indoctrinated. So most of the teachers, students, etc. Teachers are the conduits and the students are being indoctrinated. And as I said, we need to keep a watch on it. But it is virtually impossible for the state agencies to keep a watch on all the madaris that exist in this school. We need to actually get onto the narrative that they are circulating and try and counter that narrative, because keeping a tab on each and every suspect may not be feasible. While security agencies have done a wonderful job by apprehending terrorists across length and breadth of India, but eventually they may fail sometimes and one odd person might get away. So we need to have a greater centralized mechanism for controlling this sort of radicalization and terrorism. We need to watch every single madaris, keep a tab on the curriculum that is being followed there. I think all state governments need to bring these madaris under some sort of control, some sort of monitoring. Their curriculum needs to be restructured so that modern subjects are taught along with the religious subjects, so that the products of these madaris are not only fit to become terrorists or radicalized youth, but can also be absorbed into a normal lifestyle.
No, but isn't it the religious instruction, the kind of religious instruction that needs to be monitored? Because it's not just about modern education. It's about this kind of instruction. And if the instruction borders on indoctrination, then should there be a big question that should be erased? Because Assam right now has shut down all the state-run madrasas, and they've also now got an SOP in place in terms of who you appoint as an imam, who you appoint as a madrasa teacher or an instructor. Because it's what they're instructing is the issue. The religious instruction, if it goes beyond theology into indoctrination, that's where we have a problem, Alokji.
Undoubtedly. See, this is what I have been saying very often, is that this narrative which they are generating, this indoctrination which is taking place, we need to counter it. We need to understand how this takes place. This indoctrination is subtle but definitive. What do? They have created a narrative which selectively quotes from their religious texts and religious beliefs, and then indoctrinates the student or the target into following the diktats of those who want to use them. So we have to counter it. Now the countering it can only be done by creating a counter narrative and propagating it, so that the youth are already immune to this sort of a narrative or this sort of indoctrination. And for that, we need to structure, we need to work out at the highest level and create a counter narrative by quoting from religious texts, so that the target youth are already aware that what is going to come to them, and they are actually immune to this sort of indoctrination. Now, of course, besides that, state governments need to monitor what is being taught in the madaris. That is, of course, need to be done, and I think all state governments need to do that.
Right. Alokji, I'm just going to check if Preeti is still there. And Preeti, what kind of steps have been, countermeasures have been put in place? One. Secondly, what kind of material has been found in the possession of these people? How many children was this madrasa teacher, Hafizur Rahman, teaching? And what was he teaching them?
Yes, first of all, about the steps taken by the government already, they have the Chief Minister of the state has stated about making a proper kind of a portal where they will be giving out the SOPs, where how the imams working in these masjids have to register, how they will be cross-checked by the local police, and then they will be able to work such kind of things will be placed. But today, while we talked to the Chief Minister, he also stated that it will take some time because they will have to do it in a proper way. So definitely they have started the process very slowly, but no survey as of now has been done, because first of all he said that there needs to be a survey done, and after that they will be going on for the SOPs for the imams and the madrasa teachers. And regarding the teachings that has been provided in these madrasas, I have to tell you, Anand, that there are certain contents that have been found in the entire all these modules, all similar kind of have, we can say, the teachings, and the teachings have been founded. Certain booklets have been found, certain leaflets saying about jihad, and also saying about how to die for jihad. Such kind of things are also there, and the entire modules state that such kind of inducing such kind of dark jihad kind of contents have been found from everywhere. And as we talk to the Goalpara SP, he also stated that the findings are quite similar in all the modules, from the
Right.
imams to the madrasa teachers. They have been trying to induce such kind of elements where they teach the students to die in the name of jihad. So those are the contents they are teaching. And why we talk to the students there? Because as you remember, we were there for the ground report in Goalpara when we tried to talk with the locals there and the students and the children there reading in the madrasas. We were earlier a part of the madrasa. While we asked them what they want to be in their life, or what are their ambitions, they all had one thing to say: they wanted to be either imam or a madrasa teacher. So this
Right.
is going on a thread. You can see it is a thread that is linked up, and they try to inculcate such things that the students particularly think about the dark side of the religion, and go towards inculcating jihad and finishing sacrificing themselves for the cause of
No,
the religion
it's
or
it's not
religious.
just who, it's the kind of instruction and the method of the instruction, what is being instructed. That's where now how are we going to scrutinize that? Preeti, thank you for your inputs. Alokji, quick comment before we move on to the other big development here on the Nation at 5. But how do we stop this aspect of indoctrination via instruction? And it's not easy to pinpoint. More importantly, these people all seem to have come into India illegally, now have valid papers and claim to be Indian citizens, but clearly they are not.
See, as I said, there are two or three immediate objectives. One is to screen anyone who's coming there. In fact, illegal immigration needs to be controlled. And I think one of the important ingredients of controlling illegal immigration is to allow valid work permits. Because please understand, a large chunk of population from Bangladesh comes to work in India. And I think we need to have some system of valid work permits so that these people will come, they are accounted for, they work and they go back. If you don't have a legitimate avenue for coming, you will have illegal immigrants. And these illegal immigrants are the biggest source of this indoctrination. The second is all these madaris, etc. What is their curriculum? What are the books? What are the textbooks, etc. needs to be monitored. All the states must have some monitoring mechanism. And then finally, which is the major thing, it's to come out with a counter narrative so that the youth, the potential targets of indoctrination, are already exposed to this de-radicalization narrative so that this doesn't have an effect. And that is a very big time requirement, and that requires a very, very carefully calibrated narrative that needs to be generated, which will require a good understanding of theology, and using that, we'll have to counter-radicalize.
Well, we are getting some more inputs, and I'm going to see if we can get Niloy on the phone. We've got the DGP. We've got the DGP, Mr. Bhaskar Jyoti, on the phone line. Namaste, sir. This is Anand Narasimhan here. Big crackdown in Goalpara. Your thoughts? You're in Goalpara too. 4 big arrests that have been made from one district itself.
Yes. Yes. Today also one chap is arrested, who's a senior mufti of a particular masjid, and like Hafizur Rahman, he's somebody very important. He's owned it up. Whatever he's saying is good to our ears, in the sense that we are being able to unearth entire lot of unanswered questions. So Al-Qaeda has been kind of trying to make its way into the minds of the youngsters in Assam, especially Lower Assam, in a very, very methodical manner. And they are taking recourse to, some employment in terms of teachers in madrasas and imams in some masjids. So we need to perhaps look at the way the madrasas are run here. The madrasas started the way they are started out here in Assam. And we are working on it in a process of counter-radicalization. We are engaging with the community of the Islamic faith. And they are being very cooperative. And we are on the path of the radicalization strategy in this region.
Mr. Mahanta, what kind of intent have they come in with? Do they have a secessionist intent and also along with radicalization? Are they pushing in thoughts of a greater Bangladesh and then hiving off Lower Assam?
They are not talking about that yet. The modus operandi has been to, get in touch with people from Bangladesh and also from other countries, for all you know. Once they go to Deoband for religious courses or education, and they come in contact with all kinds of characters of Al-Qaeda origin, and then they get influenced, and in turn they bring them along with them to Assam, and they get a local girl married to one of those characters, and they get them into a madrasa, and then they spread the message of jihad, etc., by engaging in different kinds of mashwaras. At this moment, their focus has been to radicalize as many youngsters as possible, talk in terms of, actions to be taken against the kafirs, and advocating pure Islam everywhere in Assam. And they're trying to create a base and future soldiers for, mujahideens, etc., so that, they could perhaps at appropriate time they will strike.
But are you apprehensive that this may not just be limited to Goalpara? Because there was this Morigaon Madrasa also.
We have already busted 5-6 modules already in different districts, not only in Goalpara. We have already got this Safiul of Bangladesh in Barpeta. He was also an imam. And he is the main mover and shaker, actually, along with a couple of other chaps who have given us a sleep at this moment. So some people have been caught in Madhya Pradesh, some people are caught also in Bengal, and they all have connection out here in different districts in Assam. Morigaon, Goalpara, Barpeta, Dhubri. So we are trying to join the dots everywhere, inside Assam as well as outside Assam. So let's see how we take it forward. I'm sure once we get the rest of the chaps who are absconding at this moment, the entire picture will be clear how far they have made an ingress into the minds of the general Muslim youth out here. But I'm convinced that Muslims in Assam are not going to support them, and Assam Police is at the top of the situation and will not allow them to succeed.
Sir, final question. Is there a special team that's been now put in place? We're given to understand that Hafizur Rahman is in 5 days of police custody. But is there a special team that's now been tasked with investigating this entire nexus?
Yes, of course. We are engaging some specialists and who've been kind of at it for quite some time now. And we've got a good database. And we are joining the dots and trying to create a bigger picture and establish in a court of law about their involvement in a terroristic design.
We wish you and your team all the very best, and we are continuously tracking the story here at CNN News 18. Mr. Mahanta, good to speak with you, and thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Short break here on The Nation at 5. So the Assam DJP confirming that it's not just Goalpara, but multiple districts where multiple modules have been busted. They are piecing together the larger blueprint. We will keep you abreast of the latest developments, but this Madrasa module of terror has been busted, and it's a big bust that's happened in Assam. This one in Goalpara, 4th big arrest in that one district itself. Short break here on The Nation at 5. All about Sonali Phogat and that mystery of her death when we come back.
Causing the house to collapse altogether. This tractor action was retribution for a land dispute between two parties. After the video went viral, police has now started investigating the matter.
The Goa Police has registered a murder case over the death of Haryana BJP leader Sonali Phogat. This after the post-mortem report revealed that there were multiple blunt force injuries on her body. Her personal assistant and his friend have been charged with murder. The 42-year-old died of a suspected heart attack in Goa on the 23rd of August. 3 terrorists were killed as security forces foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control in Uri sector of Jammu and Kashmir. The terrorists were hoping to use the cover of thick undergrowth foliage and rainfall and low clouds to infiltrate. 2 AK-47 rifles, 1 Chinese M16 rifle and other ammunition has been recovered. The Indian Army is hiring via the JEE Main 2022 exam. Now here are the details. Let's take you through the details of these online applications from male candidate recruitment under 10+2. The technical entry scheme candidates can submit applications till the 21st of September. Hiring to be conducted to fill the total of about 90 vacant positions. Candidates must have appeared in the JEE main examination. Now, Taiwan has unveiled its plan for record boost in defense spending.
After China staged unprecedented military exercises near Taiwan, the island is getting battle-ready. Taiwan has announced a 14% increase in defense spending for new fighting jets and other military equipment. This is a sharp increase in defense spending for the country, considering it has only been 4 to 5% in recent years. The tipping point has been China's muscle flexing. Ever since US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's unprecedented visit to the island last month, China's People's Liberation Army rolled out a series of military exercises surrounding the island. From launching ballistic missiles into waters around Taiwan to sending Chinese warships to the Taiwan Strait and PLA warplanes breaching the median line. China wants Taiwan reunified with the mainland and has accused the US of trying to overturn decades of diplomatic policy on the same.
China can now keep its fighter jets in the air for much longer. Here's how. For the first time, J-20 undertakes air-to-air refueling. Air-to-air refueling done by indigenous Yu-20 tanker. And this tanker can undertake aerial refueling for about 2 aircrafts. This refueling increases the jet's combat radius by about 30 to 35%. The aerial tanker to make a public debut in the PLA air show. And a video of British Prime Minister hopeful Rishi Sunak performing Gau Puja in London is going viral. The 42-year-old visited a cow enclosure along with his wife Akshita Murthy, and together they performed the Aarti of the cow. Sunak, who has declared himself to be a proud Hindu, had recently gone to a temple to celebrate Janmashtami. 3-time champion Novak Djokovic will not play in the upcoming US Open, which begins on Monday. Now, Djokovic is ineligible to travel to the US due to COVID protocols which require him to be vaccinated. This is the second Grand Slam that he will miss for not being vaccinated. He was deported before the Australian Open earlier this year. In bizarre retribution.
Two tractors rolled in to demolish this house. As a large crowd looked on, the first tractor tore into the house. The house started to crumble bit by bit, and soon the roof caved in. Then the second tractor dealt the final blow.
Back on the Nation at 5 with the latest around Sonali Phogat, where it's just getting more and more intriguing with the IG Goa addressing a press conference where Omveer Singh very clearly said that there are 2-3 aspects, and he clarified. He said that there is video evidence that there were 2 people who are close associates of Sonali Phogat who were trying to be physically push their proximity to her in a crowd. And there is a video evidence that something was being mixed, an obnoxious chemical is what he is called, was being mixed into her drink, and after which she started losing her physical capacity, and she was and control over her own movements, and she was trying to find her place, and these 2 people tried to take her away and moved her towards the bathroom. Now that is the video evidence they have where she was for the next 2 hours. What happened inside there is a subject matter of investigation, but they believe that over the next 23 hours they'll be able to get the accused to come and tell us, come and reveal more. He also let out, and he also informed the media during his briefing, that the blunt force injuries that have been marked in the post-mortem were not mortal. They were not those that could have claimed the life of Sonali Phogat. And they say that the accused have said that while they were trying to help her around in the bathroom, she has got those injuries because she was falling down and she had no control, physical control, because of what drug, whatever she had consumed. The nature of this chemical, the nature of this drug, they do not know. The police is yet to ascertain. They are waiting for the chemical analysis. But they do know that it is the two accused, and both of them are co-accused. And they were the ones responsible for mixing it. And they believe that this was a nefarious intent, and she was not aware that this was being done with her. The police also ruled out heart attack as the cause for death, saying that initially on prima facie the doctor thought it is heart attack, but it is not. It is a result of whatever she had ingested. That's where the cops have stopped, saying they will be able to reveal more on further interrogation over the next 24 hours. Let's listen into what Mr. Omveer Singh said.
जो सीसीटीवी फुटेज करली क्लब से लिए गए, उनके आधार पर देखा गया कि एलेज्ड सुधीर सांगवान और उसका एसोसिएट सुखविंदर सिंह, और एक वीडियो से जाहिर होता है कि उसको एक सब्सटेंस फोर्सफुली विक्टिम को वन ऑफ द एक्यूज पिला रहा है, जिसके बाद विक्टिम अपने सेल्फ में नहीं रह पाई, फिर उसको संभाला जाता है और दूसरे शॉट में भी देखा कि उसको लिक्विड में कुछ पिलाया जा रहा है। करीब 4:30 बजे जब वो अपने आप को संभालने में नाकाम रही तो मुलजिम विक्टिम को बाथरूम टॉयलेट की तरफ लेके जाता है और फिर वहां करीब 2 घंटे वो रहते हैं टॉयलेट में, जिसका एक्सप्लेनेशन अभी तक एक्यूज ने नहीं दिया है।
Anshul joining us live. Anshul, what is it that the cops are now saying, and are they now convinced that this was a nefarious intent? There was a nefarious intent involved.
Definitely, and initially we heard the cops saying that this was actually a heart attack, and if the family would not have made that pressure on the Goa police, maybe this case would have been an open and shut case, and this investigation would not have gone out in the manner that it went out. So the two brothers of Sonali Phogat went to Goa and stayed there for 4 days, making sure, giving out statements to the media where they said that this is not a case of heart attack, but it is an absolute case of murder. Because remember, they were already from day one putting allegations on his PA, Sudhir Sangwan. They have already been putting allegations on him that he was the person who had taken control over Sonali Phogat. In fact, this was also a matter of property. We have seen that one of the flats in Gurgaon where Sonali Phogat has been named as the wife of his PA in police records. So yes, the family has been saying this from day one. Also, the family today has been alleging that he was the person who did not allow even the family members to come close to her or to speak to her in regard of property matters. So yes, the family since day one has been saying that this has been done intentionally to gain control over the property of Sonali Phogat. The family is also saying that they will wait and see after the cremations have been done today, since at around 12 p.m. the cremations were done. After the cremation, the family is now going ahead and looking at what are the properties that have been taken up by her PA. So yes, this was all a planned object, that very well planned thing that had happened, and this is what the family has been saying. Also, the family put out allegations that her drink was spiked from day one itself. She was drugged, the family had been saying, and today the police after 4 days has come out and confirmed that as well. So yes, everything that the family had said is coming true. Also a very interesting fact, Anand, that on the day that she left from Hisar, Sonali Phogat left from Hisar, she had a bodyguard with her, and that bodyguard was sent back approximately 50 kilometers away from Hisar once that once the Haryana border was crossed, the bodyguard was sent back by his PA, and since then nobody knew where Sonali Phogat was. Last evening, just before her death, her family has also come out and said that they actually spoke to her, and her PA said that she was somewhere in Mumbai and she had gone there for a shooting. But the next morning, the news that comes to them absolutely shocked everyone, where the Goa police actually informed them that she has been found dead in a hotel. So yes, many discrepancies have been coming out in the statements of both the accused.
Right.
Initially, the accused said that she herself said that she would not go to the hospital as she is a celebrity and could create a ruckus, could create a harm to her image, because she was drugged at that point in time. And if she was drugged,
Right.
and if the PA was with her, wasn't it his responsibility to actually take her to the hospital and make sure that nothing happens to her? But in the manner that she was drugged, what drugs were given to her, the Goa police has been saying
Right.
that it was an obnoxious chemical. But yes, experts have been saying that such chemical could be something like an MDMA, which could be mixed with water, and the water still remains transparent.
A synthetic drug that was given to her is something the cops have said. The accused have confessed to some aspects. Now, the video evidence also, Herman is with us on the phone line. The cops clearly saying the video evidence shows that these two were trying to force themselves on her, getting physically very aggressive and very into close proximity. But they've also said, the cops said, we are making both co-accused. Now, is that a big hint that's being dropped that perhaps both of them were part of this entire conspiracy or whatever they had planned out, Herman? And they are also saying what happened in those 2 hours in the bathroom is a big question, although the cops say that there is no evidence of her being sexually abused.
Well, Anand, just going by what the investigation and the official states, what has been stated officially, the FIR has clearly said that there was a common intention between both of the DO as far as committing her murder. But for what? What was the larger gain? Were they under, a certain sort of pressure? Was there a larger person involved? We do know that there is a former Haryana minister who has been under the scanner, and who has also been linked, by association to one of these suspects. Who will been arrested by the Goa Police. Yes, we do know that clearly. And this was in fact Goa Police that right at the start, Anand, had come on record and said, no, this was a clear-cut deal, that this was a death related to cardiac arrest and there was no foul play. Subsequently, only after the family members arrived and they said, no, we were not informed of the family shoot, that she had a film shoot here in Goa. Upon investigation, it was found that the hotel rooms were only booked for 2 days. That something is foul play. And then the report came, and then they said the post-mortem report clearly stated, Anand, that there were forceful injuries to her body, which clearly pointed out as a sign of physical assault. But why is it with entire confidence that the Goa Police initially stated that this was a case of cardiac arrest, and subsequently now with you have major lapses coming forward? Yes, it is a pre-planned murder conspiracy is what the family alleges, but are these only the two staffers to be blamed? What is the larger gain? Is there a bigger player into this entire sort of conspiracy that has taken place? Only time will tell, Anand.
Well, thanks for your inputs, Anshul and Herman. We're going to take a very short break here on The Nation at 5. Stay with us.